Hold on a sec, guys. That's Chancey Chanstein.
Hey guys, got Scope going here. Good morning to Delilah Move Retail. My Facebook friends and my Periscope friends, thank you so much, One Scoper. And let's get this puppy set up properly. Today I want to talk about how to deal with the increased blogging responsibility of becoming successful, to become even more successful with your blog. Now, Amanesh, thanks so much for joining. Really appreciate it. Now, guys and dolls, today we're going to talk about this because I'm just seeing what's happening in my life. And when I'm talking success, thanks so much for joining. Hurts so good. I wanted to, first off, give a definition of success. It's different for everybody. But for me, it just means you're going to be having more fun. You're going to be, hey, Cess, thanks so much for joining. You're going to be having much more fun. You are going to be doing more. You're going to be being more, first off. You're going to be doing more. And you're just going to be getting more traffic and getting more comments and receiving increased social engagements. And you're going to be making more money. And this is kind of just the way it progresses as you work your way through. Flameout, thanks so much for joining. Now, guys and dolls, that's my idea of success. I think most people's idea of success, you got to love what you're doing. That's the prime core thing. But since we're living a worldly life, you're going to receive increased responsibility. Ron, thanks so much for joining, bro. Really appreciate it. Now, this is going to be really difficult in the beginning because if you're like me, there's going to be some part of you that's actually afraid to be successful. And I'm not now. Thank God. But for years, I was really afraid to take on increased responsibility because I just did have no idea how to deal with it. I had no idea how to process this increased responsibility, more stuff to do, more to be. I had to give up a lot of what I thought I was, as far as, thanks so much for joining, Mike, as far as, I just figured I was a broke, unemployed, fired security guard. I figured I was just this guy who'd never be successful in any area of his life. It wasn't even like my dreams could come true. It was just such an impossibility to me. But I learned how to deal with increased blogging responsibility that comes with being successful. Good morning, Chris. So good to see you. And I've been able to cultivate even greater success by learning how to deal with it. Now, the number one thing that I'm being right now, and it's the one thing you're going to be being if you want to become more and more successful with your blog, you like get more traffic, make more money, do all these other things that are really, really cool, you're going to learn to let go. And really, that's the prime. Amanesh, thanks so much for joining. Actually, you're joining. Thanks so much for sharing. But the prime thing you want to do, if you're becoming more successful, more cash is coming in, more traffic, but more responsibility, more folks who want to hire you, more comments to respond to, more social media shares, more engagement over there, more videos. My videos are becoming a little bit longer. You could see that, going up to like 30 minutes now on Periscope. Thanks so much for joining. Tranquilidad? I like that. And it's one of those deals where as more responsibility flows to you to build your business, to build your blog, to engage, to have a cat on your lap, that's so cute. It's Delilah Chanstein. As you're doing these things, and that's extra responsibility. So I have to think about her well-being because she's so cute. Now, how are you going to do it? You're going to become a streamliner, and you're going to become a streamliner by learning the art of release. And that's really the most direct, simplest, and in some cases, hyper uncomfortable way to filter the increasing level of success flowing your way. What do I mean by this? Perfect example. As my social engagements increase, my interviews, making more money with my blog, I'm noting, hey, more ebook sales, more clients, more consulting fees I'm collecting. That's all well and good, but I'm processing the money, doing more interviews, I'm writing more guest posts. I'm still doing 2 blog posts a week, but I'm doing a podcast, leveraging the stuffing out of videos on Periscope, Facebook Live, and Periscope Live, of course. Then on YouTube, I'm getting all this content out there, but as I'm doing that, I realize that I had to modify my blog commenting strategy. And that was uncomfortable to me because for years I'm talking about every single comment. If I'm reading 30 posts and leaving 30 blog comments a day, in addition to the 2 to 5 guest posts I'm writing a day, I finally realized as I'm becoming more successful and my reach is expanding, there's no way that I could possibly do blog commenting like I used to. I just absolutely cannot. I can't do 3 to 5 paragraphs, even that I advised, because that was me 3 years ago, and then even less than that, but when even more recently than that. But that was me 3 years ago, and I'm being a different person now. I've outgrown that person. So I know just 1 to 2 paragraphs, sometimes 3 or 4 here and there, but 1 to 2 is going to be it. Sorry, Delilah. Just got to focus on the video now. Come on, outside. Delilah's this fan, but she's got to chill outside for a bit. And that's the thing. If you are being honest about this idea of becoming more and more successful, you're going to have to let go. You're going to have to release what you used to do and how you used to do it. Thanks so much, In Your Space, for joining. Now, this is a highly uncomfortable thing. And for me, it meant I can't address people by name with the hello. I address every blog comment, every blogger I meet through comments. And when I'm leaving a comment, I address them by name, but I can't start up with the hello. I can't finish with a thank you. I can't do all the other stuff I used to do, because at the end of the day, that's like a half hour to 45 minutes worth of time spent doing stuff that I can no longer do. And it's just the idea of release. And this is very uncomfortable, but if you want to keep expanding, you got to let go of the person you were to be the person you are now, to position yourself for the future. Okay, past, present, future. Technically, it's all the moment, but you know what I mean. And thanks for eyeballs, and thanks for scopers. But if you are just focusing so heavily on this idea of keeping things exactly how they were, you could never become more successful. Because that half hour to 45 minutes that I saved by not saying for every comment, hello Ryan, and thank you so much for sharing, and kind of moving into these other areas with commenting where I just have to streamline it now. That's another guest post, or that's an interview for a popular podcast. Now, as I become more successful, I'm landing more of these interviews on popular podcasts. I'm going to seize those interviews rather than just go through every comment with a more formal or longer or more thorough comment. It's just who I'm being these days. And that's going to happen to you too. That happens to everybody. Now, the only reason it doesn't happen is because, thanks so much, the gentleman in Minnesota. I'm guessing I'm in. Thanks for joining. But the only reason that doesn't happen is because you're holding on and you're clinging. And that may be one reason why you're becoming more successful, but you can't quite leverage the heck out of it into something even greater and grander. It's because you're holding on. You're not releasing. And I had to release on longer comments. I had to release on, I personalize everyone, but on signing off with my name. Because at the end of the day, that's an extra half hour to 45 minutes, which I need, because I'm becoming more successful. And you're just going to morph. And it's why Richard Branson is not responding to every comment on his blog. You know what I mean? As you're being the person, your talents are going to be used in different ways. Now, Animesh. I'm sorry, I said Animesh before. Animesh. Sometimes I lose my track on blogging after a few days, break again, and I start with full energy. But how to be more consistent? Any suggestion? A little off topic, but let's dive into it for a second. Thanks so much for joining. LF Bill. Periscope. What can you let go, Animesh? Ask yourself that question. I'm going to work it into the video. Now, if you're having problems keeping your blogging momentum going, you're probably holding on to something blogging-wise that's just not advantageous for your growth. And I think you'll become more successful when you're more consistent. And when you're not being consistent, for me, it almost always is the fact that I'm just not letting go what I need to let go. There's probably some aspect of your blogging campaign where you're just, clinging to something you need to let go of. Thanks so much, Danny. So keep that one in mind. And then also, too, Animesh, one of the best ways to really get things going is to revisit your why. Focus on your fun, focus on your freedom. So, I went a little off topic, but I wanted to do that for a second because that's how we do things here on occasion. So, guys, how to deal with the increased blogging responsibility of becoming successful to become even more successful with your blog. Release. That's the one word. You're going to have to let go what you used to do because you're being a different person. And one example for me was, I can't lead off every blog comment with, hi, Ryan, or hi, John Doe. This dead guy keeps making his way into the Blogging from Paradise brand. But on top of that, I can't sign off with a thank you every time. I can't sign off with my name. And it's not I'm going to stop for a second just to pause because it's good to do that sometimes. Hey, Animesh, no problem, man. Thanks so much for joining, chat. It's not about letting go everything you used to be, in most cases. In some cases, it will be. But it is about being the person who is in the space now where you're just going to be doing different things. You're going to be backing the things you're doing with a different energy. Thanks, Jay Carlos, joining. But more than that, you are going to be letting go, constantly, constantly, constantly. Another perfect example. The art of leveraging. I used to pride myself like an a-hole on this idea of I'm going to create a unique piece of content every time out on every platform. And of course, that's insanity. Now what I do to save time from what I used to waste time on because I have to streamline, I have to let go, I let go this idea of I need a fresh piece of content on, say, Periscope or Facebook or YouTube. Now what I do is I leverage here. So I'm talking to you scopers right here, live. I'm talking to you Facebook friends and buds, live. Could have done better with the hair today, but it's just one of those days after the ice shower. It happens, guys. And that's two different networks where I'm saving time and I'm speaking to two different groups of people, which is awesome through your medium of choice. But then on top of that, now what I'm doing is I'm downloading the Facebook Live video after it's recorded, and I'm uploading to YouTube. And talk about leveraging. And that's an extra 30 minutes of content. Well, I've been going about 30 minutes. That's an extra 30 minutes of content, but I let go. Again, it was the reason. Let go the idea that I needed an authentic, genuine piece of new content on every network. And that's going to change. Again, 1 to 2 paragraph comments now. Sometimes 3 or 4, but that changed. Commenting on different blogs, that changed. But this is necessary now because I'm becoming so much more busy with my email, with social media, responding to comments. I'm getting like 30, 40, 50 comments a day now, and I never got that many. Some days I did, but now it's becoming normal. Like I just woke up, it's like 7, 8 more comments over the past however many hours. And I'm thinking like the other day when I said I got 7,000 comments, and I'm already, I think it was like yesterday or 2 days ago, and I'm like already at 7,053 or 52, and I was looking at this morning, I was like, holy shit, that's insane. It used to take a while for me to get that many comments in that shorter period of time. My list keeps growing. Responsibility keeps coming into me as far as engagement and connecting. But you have to streamline and do what's most important, not from an attached space, but from a space of what's most fun and how can I release what I've been doing responsibility-wise at this level of success to keep on moving up. Now, there'd be some folks who'd pride themselves on writing those 5-paragraph comments all the time for years. It's just, you'll never grow into the person you are meant to be and have greater and greater success if you're so obsessed with keeping things how they were and doing things on this linear. It's kind of like I talked about yesterday, this whole idea of linear or writing about it. I don't even know where I mentioned it. I'm in so many spots now with guest posts and stuff. But everything's straight, and you're just going to do this with blog commenting for the rest of your career. And that's going to change, guys. Because eventually you'll be getting so many interview requests for like major media outlets or for like big time blogs or for big time podcasts. Debbie, thanks so much for joining. Really appreciate it. And the more you receive these interview requests, you're going to realize I'm going to have to cut something else out. I have clients to talk to, courses to promote, ebooks to promote, guest posts, all these things that these successful bloggers are doing to expand their presence. Increased responsibility finds you, it's flowing your way. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to have to let go because eventually you'll run out of hours. And that's the thing. I still need my 8 to 10 hours of sleep. I still need my hour of exercise. I still need my Netflix time, my reading time. This is what it means to engineer a free life. And if you become more and more responsible with your blog, more and more duties will flow your way, more and more responsibility, and that's all well and good, and that's awesome. But then you're going to have to let go to actually have the time. Hold on a sec, guys. To actually have the time to. There we go. To still live that freeing, fun life. Thanks so much for joining, Isa. And to actually succeed more progressively online, to see your success increase and expand and expand and expand. So the one thing that you have to master is this art of release. It can be highly uncomfortable. I'm not saying it's comfortable. I love leaving my long, in-depth, I wrote the ebook on it, and that's the one call to action, guys. I'm talking about blog commenting. If you want to leverage your presence online, because even though I'm not doing blog commenting like I used to do it, it's still like a big time traffic driver for my blog, and it's awesome. So you want to pick up how to build an online empire through blog commenting at bloggingfromparadise.com. I think you see it on the homepage, but you definitely see it on my blog page on the sidebar. And click that because that's a great way to leverage your presence. And part of that release, when you're becoming more and more successful, is definitely mastering the concept of leveraging as well. Because I had to release that idea of, oh, I need that fresh piece of authentic, genuine content on every network. But part of that was factoring into the whole idea of, come on, Delilah, the whole idea of network, leveraging, I should say. Delilah's she just loves the attention. She doesn't like me giving you guys. Still happy dancing. There you go, Chris. Yeah, keep celebrating, man. Keep celebrating those, was it 400 comments? I think so, right? Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's how it is. And when you're just focusing on this idea of leveraging, you're going to be releasing what you thought you needed to be and needed to do to become more and more successful. And then as you become more and more successful, more responsibility will flow your way. There'll be more emails to check, more Twitter engagements, hundreds of tweets a day, more comments to respond to. And then this will streamline as you work your way forward. Like eventually, my blog could reach the point where I just can't respond to every comment, and that will be okay. And I may not respond to comments at all down the road. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. It's a little bit, I wasn't picking my shot. That was Kim C. What's going on, man? Good morning, brother. Or good evening. From America to Cambodia. But guys and dolls, there we go, scopers. I'm going to see the relax over the head because it's so important to keep the relaxation there. Guys and dolls, it's one of those deals where it's just so critically important to learn this idea of release and to apply it. And the more you're applying this idea of release on what you did in the past, different responsibilities are going to flow your way. And it's a very, very confusing aspect of building a successful blog. And, ooh, look at that. It's evening here. Exactly. Yep, Kim C. Good evening. Cambodia. Well, it's a little better light. Maybe I'll shift that, relax that in the corner too. But dudes and dudettes, it's a very difficult thing because if you are willing to deal with this highly uncomfortable feeling, Hearts, thanks so much for joining, of being successful, becoming more successful, you're going to see a lot more workflow your way. And this is an awesome thing because you're going to be making more money and getting more traffic. But this idea of release, it's highly uncomfortable. And it's why some people, really majority of people, they seem to have so much talent and their energy's there on one level, but they just can't seem to make the breakthrough. It's like, why aren't they featured on these top blogs? Or, well, it's just not in the stars for them. It's not aligned, and they just don't seem to be able to make their way up. And it's because they're clinging to the person that they've been for years, and they're in their comfort zone, and they're like, everything's pretty good, but they're not letting go the responsibilities they need to let go to make room for the responsibilities they need to embrace right now. And that's the uncomfortable process of release. And for me, it was pretty uncomfortable with my comments. It's been uncomfortable with my emails. I had this idea I had to let go, that I had to sit there and read an email for 5 minutes if somebody was just unclear on what they were doing, and they're sitting there rambling on for 5-10 minutes, literally. And I would sit there and read every word. And thank goodness years ago I released on that. And now it's just literally 5 or 10 seconds. That's the only time I have. And it's not about being in a rush. It's just, again, this whole idea of releasing that you have to respond to this stuff. It's just somebody who's unclear energetically. And I'm coming from a more fun-loving, clear space. So I just scan in a couple seconds, boom. It's just increased responsibility, which of course is a super positive thing. It's an awesome thing because I love doing what I do. But as the greater responsibility flows to me, and clients and promotions and guest posts and blog commenting and engaging and answering questions on Quora and Warrior Forum, and all this stuff keeps flowing to me, and I'm being the person for me to live this freeing, fun lifestyle and to become even more successful and to expand even more greatly online. And I don't mean here because I've been doing my workouts and I'm really getting in shape now. And that's another thing too. Again, I need the time for the workouts. I need the time for sleep, enjoying the offline life. What are you doing, Delilah? Time for petting Delilah. I gotta release. I gotta let go. And you're gonna have to do the same thing. And it's gonna be uncomfortable, guys. Sometimes it's gonna feel really, really good right off the bat. I don't know why I put my fist up, but it'll feel like that. Other times it's gonna feel highly uncomfortable because you're gonna say to yourself, even with comments like, God, Ryan says to address people by name, sign off with your name, to thank them every comment, 3 to 4 to 5 paragraph. And as those interview requests keep flowing in and you're speaking to more clients and you have to promote your blog and get your guest post ready for the day or your 5 guest posts or your video, you're going to be like, I can't do this anymore because I'm not being that person. It's something I have to let go to do what folks who are expanding their reach at this like breakneck pace who are becoming more and more successful to be that person. So you're going to have to let it go and devote your time and energy to something that expands your reach more quickly. It's just the way that it is, guys. And thanks for one eyeball. Really appreciate it. So dudes and dudettes, I mean, that's pretty much it. If you want to deal, Diana, thanks so much for joining. Really appreciate it. With the increased blogging responsibility of becoming successful, to become even more successful with your blog, to expand that reach really far and wide, you're going to have to master the concept of release, and that means letting go what you used to do to achieve this level of success, to make room for what you're going to do now to become more and more successful, to expand your reach more quickly. Oh, it's kind of crazy, guys. I got to take care of this poor cat. She's kind of nuts. And this is part of the game. This is part of the Facebook Live and Periscope Live. Delilah's kind of batty, and we love her. Thanks so much for joining. Right? So dudes and dudettes, that's it. You're going to be letting go. That's the prime takeaway, the call to action with this video, and just looking over your blogging day now. What can you let go? Hey, Chris, man, thanks so much for inviting folks. Really appreciate it, bro. What can you let go to become more successful? Or even if you're a newbie and you're like, man, I've had like very limited success, and you're learning and you're sticking to the fundamentals, just think about streamlining. Thanks so much for joining, guys, on Periscope. Really appreciate it. And Facebook, too. Think about that streamlining aspect, that aspect of release. What can I let go? What am I doing now? Who am I being now that I'm just going to have to let it go to the side? And for me, it was just a little example of, well, there's a few different things. Being in and out of emails, like in 5 to 10 seconds, 1 or 2 sentence responses. Thanks so much, Golf Addict. I was running around a golf course last week, actually. That sounds kind of weird, but... Well, it was a golf course 5 years ago, but now it's no longer a golf course. It's like a jungle. It looks like Jurassic Park, which made me think of that scene, Golf Addict. But you're going to have to let go. For me, it was bits of the blog commenting. I always address my fellow bloggers by name if they include their name on the blog post. But like the greeting, the thank you, the sign off with my name, at the end of the day, that adds up. Especially how busy I am. So I had to let that go, and that's okay. And energetically, I'm clear on it, so folks aren't like, oh, look at this freaking rude guy. Like, they're happy to see me there, leaving my thoughts and addressing them by name. So that's one little thing. Golly. I'll get the front going. Being in and out of emails in seconds. Responding with 3 or 4 words, 1 or 2 lines, if I could say that properly. Being in and out of social quickly, not tagging people as much on social media, just responding. It's because at the end of the day, this adds up. And it's not because I'm in a hurry. It's because I'm being a different person who has the increased all these comments to respond to. And again, eventually that will probably change. I understand that. As I get more well-known, be devoting my attention and energy to different things. And this morning was a perfect example. I'm really feeling these videos, so I'm going with like 20 to 25 hour now, which is awesome, and that's what I'm feeling, and I'm being pulled to do that, to expand my reach even further and wider, to help folks, to have fun. I'm enjoying the ride, but then I spent about, yesterday, about 15 minutes, about 10 to 15 minutes answering questions for like a new, no, it wasn't a podcast. Dude want to talk about failed startups. So I devoted the time to do that. Thanks, CV, for joining. But in so doing, obviously, I had to cut back on commenting on folks' blogs a little bit. And that's okay. That's part of the release. This is what happens. I'll be expanding my reach, working my way into a new market, the startups market. More individuals become aware of me and my brand. And that's how you get known. farther, and wider. Oh my goodness. Welcome, Hottie. My wife doesn't watch Periscope. I don't think she does, but sorry. But and anyway, I can't even take credit for that, CV, because that's my parents' doing. So you could talk to Mr. and Mrs. Bidoff about that one. So guys and dolls, it's one of those deals where you have to really, really, if you want to deal with the increased blogging responsibility of becoming successful, become even more successful with your blog, it's going to be very, very difficult. Thanks so much for joining, Ivy. 2, become increasingly successful as far as just, connecting with more folks, having fun, which is the cornerstone of success, but then connecting with more folks. Oh, thanks for joining, Alonzo and Diana Brienne. Really appreciate it, guys and dolls. It's one of those things where if you want to become more and more successful, it's going to be very uncomfortable, but you want to have fun, you want to help more people, you want to serve more people, you're going to be making more money, getting more traffic, more of these engagements are going to flow towards you. You just got to let go what you've been doing on some level. It doesn't mean across the board, but it means like you're going to have to streamline, and it's uncomfortable to let go. It's uncomfortable to say, oh, shoot, maybe I'm not going to comment on 15 blogs today, or maybe my comments will be coming from that space energetically. I'm going to have to let it go. And it's like I am gurus tell you to blog, but they don't do it anymore because they're too busy. That's it. Chris, that's really a good point. It's like people will say you should do this, and it's like me with blog comments. And I think it's, hey, Alonzo, good day. Malik, thanks so much for joining. Exactly, Chris. It's like they have so much business coming through, like the I Am Gurus, and I think that's a good example, Chris, that you mentioned. They say to blog, definitely run a blog, but they're not doing it as much or not doing it at all in some cases. And that's okay because they have so much business that they're working or they're leveraging or they're moving in different areas. And I've seen that with myself with blog commenting. Or when people say, you should get active on Pinterest. I have no time for Pinterest or G Plus anymore. I'm not saying you shouldn't use them. I include that in my 11 fundamentals of successful blogging. To leverage the freaking stuffing out of your presence, to share your post in 20, 30, 40 places. Definitely do that. But I can't do that anymore. I've let go G Plus and I've let go of Pinterest entirely. I share my posts on my public, not my page even, just my G Plus profile, and on my Blogging Paradise Pinterest board. I had to let that go. This is part of building a successful blog. But when I let that go and that tension and having to promote that everywhere, my email list grew more quickly because I submitted guest posts and got them accepted to Positively Positive and Lifehack and all these other sites. And I'm doing the blog commenting. So I'll advise one thing, and I'm going to be doing something different because I'm not doing things from a beginner level anymore. I'm keeping it very simple, but from a beginner level of blog commenting because my name is out there and about. From a beginner level of working G Plus or Pinterest. Now Twitter I'm really active on, but again I had to let go of that stuff to make room for the person I'm being who could do these half-hour long videos. Thanks so much for joining, Efren. Really appreciate it. Guys, I'm going to start wrapping it up. Malik, Alonzo, Diana Brienne, Kim C, Chris, person who complimented my looks. Still want to thank you. Again, my parents, Mr. and Mrs. Bidoff, had to deal with my looks. And this is for Facebook, too. There's some colorful characters out there. And thanks so much for the hearts. Thanks so much for the love. If you missed this, guys, there's 3 places. The Machine, thanks so much for joining, where you could view it. Because this is the whole idea, again, of leveraging. Number 1, Facebook Live replay. Number 2, through Periscope. And number 3, what I'm going to start doing now is uploading these. I'm going to download it, and this again is the idea of this is what you do when you're becoming more and more successful, become even more successful. You let go of this idea and you leverage the heck out of your presence. This idea that you need the unique, authentic content on each platform, and I'm just like, I can't do that any longer. So I'm leveraging the heck out of it, and I'm going to put this bad boy, I'm going to download it, the good boy, bad boy, whatever I say, to my Chromebook. The Facebook Live video after it's fully recorded, and it's almost instantaneous, right? And then I'll upload it to YouTube, and that will be another area. So you could watch this replay. It's a half hour on any one of those platforms, Facebook Live, Periscope. Let's do it this way. Facebook Live, Periscope, and then I can't talk to the YouTube folks. This is not a live simulcast, but I'll upload it there either later today or possibly tomorrow. And that's just the way that it goes, guys. It's leveraging, it's letting go, letting go, letting go. You're becoming more and more successful. You got to let certain aspects go because nobody can be everywhere at once, and you're going to be desperate and pushing and straining and striving. Guys, going to roll. Thank you so much, 3 eyeballs, and thank you so much, 4 eyeballs, or 4 scopers. And Alonzo, Google Plus has been great to me, a lot of engagement. Yeah, no, Google Plus is really, really good, man. I liked it over there, but it was one of those things where it's just people tend to be more serious there. Yeah, that's true. I had to let it go. It's one of those deals where it's just every network in and of itself could be really, really helpful if you work it the right way, but it becomes like a time issue and an energy issue more than anything. So G Plus is definitely really, really good, and Pinterest is definitely really, really good. Almost every network is, because really you come to see the illusion of things. Where your attention and energy goes grows. So if you're giving that generous energy and you really are enthusiastic about Facebook, you're going to rock it out. If you're not, you won't rock it out, and you'll say that network sucks. And that's okay, because we all do that when you see people in every network. So many people tell me Twitter doesn't work. I'm like, it works just fine, because I'm passionate about it and I love it, and we're human beings and we're only going to work a certain number of networks. So yeah, this isn't an endorsement or, this is good, this is bad. All these networks are great. It's just you have to let go certain things to be the person you're meant to become. And for me, it was, and G Plus I think is awesome. I still get tons of shares over there too. I just checked; it was like 28 shares in whatever day or whatever it was, the likes or the shares, or it's just letting go. But yeah, definitely work what works for you. And as you're becoming more and more successful and expanding more and more, you're just going to find yourself gravitating towards certain networks or certain activities that you just love doing, and then you're going to have to release the other stuff, and that's the real key. We're over a half hour, guys. Got to go. Got writing to do, blog commenting. Deno, thanks so much for joining. Hey, Periscopers, here's your call to action, because a lot of you folks are like, who is this guy with the Blogging from Paradise shirt on? I didn't put the link on that. That's weird. This is the old one. Oh, you probably see Delilah's hair on it, too. That's not part of the brand. This is mold. You want a cool story? Oh, here's Delilah. This is a cool story. Quick story, guys, before I go out. And this is just, oh, good morning, Mana. Good to see you. Quick story before we wrap it up, and this just shows you the brand. And first off, the call to action. Stop by bloggingfromparadise.com, Periscopers, and Facebook Live Buddies, and sign up for my email list. You'll get, it depends the day. Usually it's Tuesday. Last week I did it on Monday because it was July 3rd, Tuesday was the 4th. But you get a cool blog post on Tuesday. Then you'll also get a blog post on Friday, and it will be either a podcast or an ebook release. I kind of alternate those. But it'll help you build a successful blog. You could have fun with your blog. You could live your dreams. I retired to a life of island hopping through smart blogging, through the tips I share through my blog. I also have 126 ebooks, 124 on Amazon, and 2 are on sales. Scaramanga. Thanks so much for joining. Really appreciate it. You'll find all my ebooks on my blog, either by clicking on those cells, or if you click the books up top, or ebooks, it'll take you right to my Amazon page, and I promote them on my blog as well. So I have courses as well. Just go wild. Treat yourself to a fun course, to a fun ebook, to help you cut through any blogging struggles, and to gain that excitement that you're going to get more traffic, and you're getting more profits, and you're feasting off my energy. It's all about freeing you guys. That's why I'm doing this. But quick story, that's the call to action. Sign up for my list. Buy an ebook. Buy a course. Go wild at bloggingfromparadise.com. See the mold here? Manuel, thanks so much for joining. See, there's a little bit of mold. I don't know if you guys could see it or not. Try to show it to you. I got that mold in the remote jungles of Buena Vista, Costa Rica. That was a really gringo style. Costa Rica, Buena Vista, Costa Rica. On the Caribbean side of Costa Rica, we did a house sit 3 miles into the jungle, 3 hours away from humans, other than Freddie, the neighbor down the road. And this shirt never recovered. This is my old school Blogging Paradise shirt. And this goes to show you the stuff you can experience, whether you're terrified, you probably don't want to experience it, or you can live vicariously through me. But through blogging and just creating this life of freedom and travel and fun, I was able to, with my wife Kelly, the folks who call me the hottie, and I love that and I appreciate that. And again, well, my parents take credit. I can't take credit for that. It's their deal. I have to talk to them. But as far as this life we lived, we were in a remote jungle for 6 weeks, outhouse, no electricity, water running in from the stream with a guy, very ingenious guy, bizarre guy, but he hooked up this hose running water 24/7, but nothing really dried there. This is totally unrelated to the video. I'm not going to draw some weird analogy. I probably could, but it's just pretty cool. I'm looking at the mold and I'm thinking, yeah, that was because it was in Buena Vista and the relative humidity was like 90% every day. Everything would just drip, and things would take 3 days to dry if they did, and some shirts just never dried, and there was mold on them. So, okay, yeah, you outed me. It's laundry day, and this is, and literally you can probably hear the dryer in the background, but I had to go to the, yeah, I get a little, I'm living a worldly life and I actually need to wash my clothes once in a while. Violet. Keller will probably like that I do this, but suave. Sweet pea and violet. I'm a weird guy. So, guys, that's it for today. You should go to Puerto Rico. Yes, Alonzo, I do want to go to Puerto Rico, and it's so interesting you say that, Alonzo, because just yesterday I read an awesome post on the beaches in Puerto Rico, like a travel blogger post, because I read and comment on a ton of travel blogs as well, and I definitely want to go there, bro. Any suggestions, let me know. I don't know if we're going to do it this year or not, because we're back in Jersey so much, but I remember way back in the day, 20 years ago, when I used to have a home, quote unquote, when I was in a digital nomad, I rented from a Puerto Rican couple who lived in the Bronx for a number of years, and they would just say, you gotta go. They moved to Jersey, had this house, renting it out in a really cool apartment there, and man, it was really, really cool, and they would just show me these pictures and checking it out the other day. So definitely going to go there eventually. It's so beautiful. If you have any tips, bro, send me some messages. Heading out there soon. Awesome, man. Want to see plenty of pictures. Guys, got to roll. 36 minutes. Wow, I think this is my record. Thank you so much for the love. Alonzo, Mana, Diana Brienne, Malik, Chris. Yeah, exactly. I am a girly man in so many ways. I think I have the, I'm in touch with my feelings, I might say. Yeah, exactly. Suave. Yeah, it's suave. Yeah, I don't know why I like that. I think it just works better, and especially in a lot of places we go, man. The sweat situation is out of control in the tropics. So obviously, situation I still have mold on a t-shirt. Doesn't smell, guys. Guys, I got to roll. Thank you so much, everybody. Chris, Alonzo, Diana Brienne, everybody. So much. Really appreciate the love, Animesh. Until next time, you know what to do. Stop by bloggingfromparadise.com. Go wild. Sign up for my list. Grab a few ebooks. Grab a few courses. Enjoy your day and enjoy paradise. And I said goodbye to Periscope. Ta-ta, Facebook folks. See you tomorrow.